and participate and engage with us through the conversation. It is a conversation. It is not a presentation. So we will have lots of questions that we'll ask of PK. And once I've introduced the topics, we'll request all of you to start keying in the questions that come to your mind, and we'll try and cover as many questions as possible today or in an upcoming session if it is relevant. Yeah. So what are we going to talk about today? Let me share my screen. Yeah, can you see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Lovely. So we're going to be talking about building the business of coaching. And PK has very kindly agreed to do 4 sessions for us, and we will talk about what those 4 sessions are. But before we move to asking PK some questions and clarifying things that are on our mind, a little bit about PK. PK helps CEOs, business owners, business leaders scale up their businesses and enhance their leadership presence. I won't do the reading up. He has a very, very strong mission. I will leave it on the screen for you to read. But a few things that really caught my attention in his profile were, he's been a PCC since 2016, and he calls 2 of his strengths. One of them is simplifying, and he calls it as the ability to simplify, unpack complexity, and bring in clarity. I love that definition. The second strength he calls is focus, and he defines it as the ability to deal with distractions and stay on course. So with those definitions, I mean, a few minutes is definitely not enough to describe who all PK has worked with, who all has he helped, enabled, and supported. Please go to pknarayanan.com, and there is lots of information about him there. So what are we going to do through the month of July? And we are calling it the month of building my business. Today, we're going to start with things like where do I place is the title. And we are going to be talking about who are we going to be coaching, what are our prospects, how do we position ourselves as a coach? So if you have any key questions that you would like PK to answer, please put them in the text chat, and we will pose them to PK as and when appropriate. The upcoming sessions are, how do I play? Basically, this should answer questions like, what are the steps towards building my business? How do I start getting clients? How do I start engaging with my clients? The next one is a lot of, how do I make my presence felt when there are so many coaches in the market? How do I become visible to my prospects? And finally, we will wrap it up with that one key question I think all beginner coaches have. How do I price myself? How much should I charge for my services? Every time the client says, oh, you are too expensive, do I immediately withdraw? Should I stay? What should I do? So it is an amazing lineup of sessions. And with that, we start moving towards the questions. So let's welcome PK. PK, thank you for agreeing to do these 4 sessions. We are all super obliged, super happy to have you on. Let me start by asking you a few key questions while people think of what they want to know. I know we spoke about naming the series as Building My Business of Coaching. So my first question to you is there a significant difference between coaching and building the business of coaching? If yes, how would you define it? And if no, why?
Thank you, Shanti. Thank you, ICF chapter, for hosting this and the series of seminar webinars that we are going to have. Couple of disclaimers. I really like before that, like the way Shanti, that you try to maximize the useful time rather than going at length introducing the speaker. Thank you for that. And the disclaimers are that this series is aimed at coaches setting up their own coaching business. So it may not be relevant for coaches operating through coaching platforms and aggregators. So this is meant to be coaches setting up their own business. This is one part which is significant. The second is the views that probably I'm sharing here is purely personal. It is not necessarily that of ICF or even the Bengaluru chapter for that matter. So you asked me, is there a difference between coaching and business of coaching? I would try to answer that by saying that for any business, we have two sides. One is that what we are and what we do. And the other part is what others see. So coaching per se is more of what I am and what I do and what others see. Yeah. The business of coaching, the subtle difference that I would like to make or highlight is that in business of coaching, what we are and what we do doesn't change dramatically because it's not something that we can do overnight. So we are what we are and what we do, coaching. The other side, the other part, when what others see moves to what prospects see, we have a business going there. Yeah. So one is that whatever I do, others see. So these others can be quite large, isn't it? 750 crore people of this world. So when we say prospects, they are a filtered lot. Yeah, it is a narrow segment of people who find us attractive. And when we have the transition from what others see to what my prospects see, we have built our business. And we have a business going there, a sustainable one. I would give one more example there. You know, any business, you would hear me saying any business because coaching business is not different. Any business has two parts, the iceberg, what is visible outside and what is holding it all together below. And I would like to think the expertise, the specialty, the specific segment that I relate with and what I am is what is shown outside. That is what others see. That is what probably you want prospects to see. These others and prospects, please go by my definition earlier. So the iceberg, the top part or the visible part is consisting of what we have been all this while. And that's what the world has seen us. And that is what the world is seeing us. And that is what is visible for the world. And the below part is my coaching skills, my certifications, my processes, my methods, my lifelong learning habits. So all of this is built mostly by us with a lot of effort, of course, and then unfortunately not visible outside. So I would like to imagine that coaching is the part that is below, and business of coaching is what is visible outside.
Oh, lovely definition. That brings me to my concern. I've been practicing as an independent coach for about a year now. And when I started, lots of feedback that I got from coaches I spoke was, coaching businesses are not sustainable. You need to package it with consulting or training in order to be able to pay your bills. What are your views on that?
It's simple. Coaching business, if you set it up as a business of coaching, it's definitely sustainable, isn't it? There are so many successful coaches around in India and abroad. So the way we set it up as a business of coaching as against coaching, I would like to bring up a couple of myths that we have in the community associated with coaching, because I've been seeing and feeling and experiencing coaching community for the last 11 years since I started coaching. So for that matter, I do only coaching. And last 11 years, even when I started 11 years back, 2013 Jan, since then, I have been doing only coaching. That is just a data point. Now, a couple of myths. First and foremost is that coaching is different from other professions. This is a myth. The second is business of coaching doesn't need any specialization. Yeah, any knowledge or expertise in any domain is a burden. Wow. I think that needs to be a big myth. And what it means is that if you have knowledge or expertise in a particular domain, it's a handicap. I mean, that is definitely a myth, according to me. From coaching point of view, it might be possible to coach anyone by definition, by theory, but business of coaching is about bringing that specialization and knowledge. We will see how later, but let me bust this myth first, that coaching business doesn't need any specialization. So in a way, are we saying that coaches need to be dumb? That they need not know anything but coaching? Are we in a way saying that coaches are a bunch of dumb people who know nothing except coaching and still can be running a business of coaching successfully? I think these are the myths that I want to bust. And just to get the understanding right here. And where is this? It has enthralled me. It has actually surprised me many times. Where is this assumption coming from, that if we know the subject matter, or if we happen to be an expert in a particular area, is it a crime? Is it against coaching? Is it a disadvantage for coaching? Can I be an expert in an area, a subject matter expert in that particular area, that particular segment, and still can be the best coach in that area? What are we uncertain about? We move to advising, we move to consulting because we know the area. So is our coaching skills that shallow? So these are some of the things that we need to answer. And some of these may be hard hitting, but reality needs to be understood. And I can be an expert. I can be a subject matter expert. I can be the best person in that area, and still I can coach. Still I can coach. And that's what brings me business, for that matter. And what I am sharing here is my experience, what I have seen in others, what I have seen in successful coaches, and what I have seen myself in my 11-year journey as a coach. And having, while bursting those myths, I also want to place two facts, which are reality according to me, on the table. Coaching is a process. We all agree that, right? Coaching is a tool. Coaching is a method to find solutions. Therefore, who uses the tool matters. That being the case, there is always going to be a perception and preference in the market about the person who is going to use it in their case. The market is going to check who is going to use the tool in my case, because they are paying for it, right? And the other fact is that they buy you, not your coaching. This is a fact. They buy you. They are not buying coaching. For this, they see only the part that is visible in the iceberg. That attracts them towards a particular coach. Shanti, if I can ask you a question.
Yeah.
Shall we do a fact check on this? Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
So you tell me, if you have imagine, okay, this is a hypothetical case because we are taking it for our discussion. Let's say we have a son or a daughter wanting to get into the state team of cricket. Yeah. Cricket, most of us are known. Most of us are interested in cricket in India. So I am taking an example from there. And you want your son or daughter to be, you are trying to get them into the state team. And, Harsha Bhogle, for the people who are not keeping interest in cricket, Harsha Bhogle has been a state player and he has been a commentator for 20 years of all forms of cricket. Harsha Bhogle, imagine he has PCC and he is practicing coaching. And P.K. Narayanan also is there in Bengaluru market. Yeah, PCC, practicing coaching. And imagine we are charging the same. Whom will you go to? Harsha Bhogle. Okay. Let us leave it at that. Now take another example. This son, daughter, they have played for state. Now you are going for the national team. Yeah? You are punting for a place in the national team and they want to improve their mindset, their approach and things like that. Nothing to do with the game of cricket. They have another coach for that. So let us say they are going to, you are wanting them to be prepared mentally, right? The mindset and the preparation that needs to enter into the reckoning of selection. Yeah. So there is Venkatesh Prasad, a fantastic cricketer, all forms of game. And he is also PCC. Yeah. He has also been practicing in Bengaluru, and Harsha Bogale, our great coach, is already there. Whom would you go to?
Venkatesh Prasad.
Yeah. This is how market behaves. This is how market behaves. This has nothing to do with the coaching skills of these gentlemen. It is the iceberg that you see outside. I'm not for a moment saying that Harsha Bogale or me have different coaching. Of course, we may have a different coaching skills. The questions that we ask may be very different. Yeah, still we may be doing coaching. The reason or the difference that I am clearly wanting to communicate here is that the questions that we ask, the process can still be coaching. The process is still coaching. But the fact check was very clear. Yeah. So this is how the market approaches selection of a coach. And business of coaching works if you are set up in a manner to be appealing to the chosen segment of society.
That leads me to the next question. How do I put myself, what is that part above the iceberg that I should create that resonates with my prospects, that resonates with my clients?
What you are as Shanti at this point in time, all the expertise, experience, the person that Shanti is, and the likes, dislikes, the passion, what doesn't tire Shanti, what cause that is closer to your heart, right? All of this may play a role in choosing your niche, your expertise, your experience, because that is how people have seen you. Yeah, just because you picked up some skill in the last 6 months doesn't mean you need to disown your whatever number of years, 30, 40, 50 years of life. So you need to bring your life, your expertise, your experience, and that's how you are seen. And that's how you need to moderate others seeing you as an expert to go to in this area. So in a way, Shanti, you have touched on positioning, because how do you position yourself?
Yeah.
For any business, positioning is very important. If you don't position yourself, how we expect market to find you? If you don't position yourself, here I want to tell you a couple of practical realities in the market. Possibly, I would like to share these two things. People don't buy coaching. People don't buy coaching. It's a process. It's like surgery. You don't go to a hospital and say that I want surgery on my knee. You say that I need to fix my foot. I need to play cricket. I need to play tennis in 2 months' time. Yeah. So people don't buy coaching. They are looking for solutions to their problems. Therefore, my encouragement to all the coaches on the call and the coaches as a community is to never sell coaching. It is probably that, the market doesn't know what is coaching, and they are not even bothered to know what is the difference between coaching, consulting, mentoring. They are looking for solution. They have tried training, didn't work. They have went through books, videos, YouTube, doesn't seem to be working. They still get the feedback that they are getting. Somebody said coaching may be helpful, and they searched, and they need to find you. So when your prospect is searching, you need to be found. For that, you need to be positioned, right? So Google, when you search for coach, Google can take account 20,000 pages, 2 lakh pages of coaches. That is not the way you can be present yourself when a prospect is coaching. So the reality is that people don't buy coaching. People are looking for solutions to their problems, and coaching can be a method through which they can find solutions to their problem. And the second very important reality is that if we set up our business in a manner to appeal to everyone, it appeals to no one. This is not a brainer. right? If we set up a business in a manner to appeal to everyone, it appeals to no one.
Hey, can
Therefore,
I share
yeah, please.
something? Yeah. So I've coached leaders, I've coached teams, I've coached first-time managers, and I've done a bit of group coaching also. Yeah. Now, my challenge is if I say I want to do, I want to select my niche only as leadership coaching and work only with leaders. My fear that I will lose out on the team coaching or, those not leadership, but, getting to leadership kind of coaching, I will lose out on that. And hence in my profile, I've still done that, team leadership, executive, but I've put all of those. What is your thought, your suggestion? I'm hearing what you're saying, that it has to appeal to a particular audience, but I'm also realizing, as you say, that probably my audience is so wide, but I'm also scared to narrow my audience.
So I would tell you, not even leaders. Leaders in what? So the narrower the niche or the narrower the positioning, the better, because you are finding a corner for yourself. The reason I would tell you, you may think that my funnel mouth needs to be large. The funnel mouth or the mouth of the funnel being the largest, 750 crore, is the best thing to be, right? The point is, will anyone would find you is the question. So the narrower the positioning, the better is the attraction. It's the magnet. See, it is a pull and push that you need to sustain a business. Early days, you can push yourself, I am here, I am here, I am here, but that is not going to sustain after you exhaust your influential or closer circle. So you need to attract people, you need to pull. If you need to pull, they need to notice you. And if you are everything to everyone, that is difficult. Who will trust you with their life and money? This is a question we need to ask. Who is likely to trust me with their life and their money the most? And that requires a bit of work, internal and external. And that is where, Shanti, it is not even leaders. Even leaders may require
PK, did we lose you?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I think it was my network.
Okay, fine. So I was saying, Shanti, that leadership is such a vast area. You might choose an area within leaders that you can relate with the maximum, or people can relate you with, and helping them. See, any narrow niche that we choose in this world, there are enough people to bite it. So first we need to operate with that sense of abundance, because if we think with a constraint, we will see that only everywhere. And if you just imagine this, your CXOs, your leaders, your middle-level managers and team coaching, what is the pie size? What is the universe? Can you handle it? It's about you seeking the clients as well as the clients seeking you. So we need to facilitate our prospects to find us. The success of a business is to help our prospects, the definition that I gave first, to find us. That 3,000 to 5,000 people, 5,000 to 10,000 people extended. Only that many needs to find you. If you are increasing your chances of finding this 5,000 people as a segment, there is high chance that 5 to 10, 15 people find you. And to get a business going, you don't need 150, 500 clients in a year. You need only a handful of clients to keep your business going well, right? So it is about finding the niche. So to answer you straight, the narrower it is, the better. It is counterintuitive. I accept that. It is counterintuitive that if I narrow down the funnel size, the funnel mouth, will I lose clients? It is a question that will be normally to ask. But my point there is that it is when the funnel size reduces, it becomes like a pipe. There is no funnel neck. So whoever comes in is likely to go through. So when you reduce the funnel mouth, it becomes like a pipe, which is the best place to be for any business, because your marketing costs are optimum, your conversion efforts are minimum, your conversion rates are high. So whatever comes in the funnel mouth just passes through. So that is ideal. But the point that I'm making is that it is a counterintuitive thing that we need to start thinking that what is my segment? And when I stay focused on that segment, you will see that segment growing, meaning more number of people from that segment start contacting you.
Lovely. We see some wonderful comments. What you are seeking will seek you. I'm going to ask a couple of questions that are pertinent to this niche topic in the text chat. Yeah, and then I'll move on to my other questions. What is more important, a category of problems for which you provide a solution, or a category of people like leaders or CXOs as you're identifying your niche?
Both, because if you, when you are choosing then the positioning, and when you are positioning, I will take you through a few things while we do positioning, what we need to do. One is choosing an area, an arena, a segment of society. Okay, so that is the segment as sharp as you can define. Leaders may mean anything in this world currently. So you can have leaders of a particular type, a particular position, particular gender, particular type, individual contributors or people managers. So the leaders come in different size, types and forms, and we need to be careful there that choosing an area, an arena. Area means IT companies alone is a very, very vast area. IT security companies, if that is your expertise, can be a good area to play with, IT security people. And if you are retail, if you are construction, there are enough people in every segment where you are seen as an expert and you know the terrain, you know the landscape. Yeah. What you do is coaching. Don't mistake me. What you do still is coaching.
Yeah.
Right. So this is positioning. This is business of coaching. Yeah. Choosing an area, an arena is the first thing. And second, consistently delivering value to that segment. Consistently delivering, staying invested in that area, understanding that area even more than what you already know, staying invested in that segment, right? And their needs and the problems that they are seeking. It is very dynamic. 5 years back, what they were chasing is not the problems and solutions that they are chasing now, right? So become a person to go to in that segment because of all this, right? In the third segment or the third session, we will know how we can market or how we can communicate this. Important is that we reach out, we communicate. So that makes you the person to go to in this for the segment, and bring your expertise, experience, skills, passion, and the personality to serve the segment better and better. So you stay invested in that segment, reaching benefits to that segment, and relating with that segment. So that is why, while choosing an area, an arena, you need to choose an area which doesn't tire you up. That's why I said, what cause is closer to you? There could be many things, women or people entering back after a sabbatical, people entering back after a break, people given pink slip. These are all big areas to practice, and today I'm told even companies are paying for coaches to handle the people that they are issuing pink slip with. So these are all, we need to know the territory, we need to know the terrain so that we get trust from that group. That's what I'm coming to. This is business of coaching. What you do may be still coaching. I'm reiterating that because I know here all are coaches. And communication, marketing, sales become very focused and sharper, to reach out that this is all part of that positioning process. That is how we start attracting prospects and business becomes tenable, business becomes sustainable. So to answer your specific question, so choosing an area or choosing, the solution or the problem. So if we don't need to really chase the solution because that is the solution that they are seeking. So quite a number of interactions with the segment, quite a bit of work in that segment will generally give us an understanding what they are seeking. And we don't need to have the solutions. That is through coaching we will bring out anyway. But we need to empathize with the group that we are talking about, or the segment that we need to be seen as, people genuinely interested in that segment. Otherwise, they won't bite it. Yeah. So they are seeking solution. The key here, therefore, is that we bring our expertise, we bring our experience, and we know the terrain, and we understand the landscape well, and also we coach well. The best coach that I can be with respect to the core competencies and the practice that I do. So the best coach to go to in terms of coaching skills and coaching practice. So what they are coming to us is for expertise and experience. That is how we are seen in the market, the top part of the iceberg. But what they get is the results and outcomes through our coaching. So the results are generated through coaching. There is no two questions about it.
Lovely. Lovely. I do have a couple of more questions, PK, but I can already see lots of questions. And I know Selva has been very patiently waiting with her hand raised. So Selva, do you want to ask your question? And then I'll move to some questions in the chat.
Sure. Thank you, Shanti, for the opportunity. So PK, I had a little bit longer sentence of questions, so please bear with me. I have identified my niche as coaching HR leaders to find a North Star. There are also a couple of other niches, such as helping women leaders in the organization shine, helping women return to work after a break. Three broad segments that I feel like I can add value, and they will trust me for that. Now, the question is, one possibility is to go completely deep down on one niche, build your personal branding, marketing, website, so on and so forth, everything, the entire chain, and then see the success of it. Or should I look at all three together? So sometimes I get confused. What is it really worth putting all the time, effort, money in investing one niche for about 6 to 8 months? What if it doesn't work? Have I wasted time in just looking in the opposite direction? So help me figure out, how do I really convince myself that this is the niche that I should go with without burning the hole in the pocket or building a branding around that niche and it's not working? Then how do I really pivot from there?
Sure, Shalva. The hack here is use who we are, okay? Who I am. I repeat, use who you are, what you are, and what you are good at, right? And use what you like doing, what is close to you, what you are passionate about, what you don't get tired about. Speaking or interacting or, being a coach to that segment, what doesn't tire you out at all? These are all non-monetary considerations. And who would find us interesting? A very important question we need to ask. You can even do some discovery sessions on that. Those whom you trust, those who will show you the mirror, those who are really, really your friends, who won't judge you. Go and check with them. Who would find us interesting? Who would find us beneficial for them interacting with us? And then check the other one, because if there is money and if it doesn't keep engaged for a longer time, you will tire out, you will burn out. So it is very difficult that very, very important that you figure out the non-monetary aspects. I repeat, the non-monetary aspects of it, that where you can keep engaged in for years to come, what you are passionate about, and what is close to you, and which segment that you relate with. And then figure out, will they find you interesting? Will they find you beneficial? Will they trust with their life and money? Do some discovery sessions on that. And then check the viability. Whether they have the money is first part, which is a no-brainer. The important part, whether they are willing to pay the fees that you are expecting. Willingness to pay is very, very important. Segment may be brilliant, segment may be fantastic, ticking all the boxes. But if they are not willing to pay, you don't have a business going. So in this sequence, as I said, because emotionally, if you don't connect with the segment that you are coaching, it is difficult to persist when the times are not as good. Yeah. When it is, so the same question that you asked after 6 to 8 months, if it doesn't work, I would like to ask you the question, what if it works?
Lovely.
Okay.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Johnny has a lovely comment. What you love, what you're good at, and what can be paid for, and what the world needs. That's Ikigai, and that's what is finding the niche. Continuing with what Selva asked, Jagdish has a question. Will the answer to what motivated me to be a coach be a deciding factor in my identifying my niche?
Can you read it again, please, Shanti?
Yeah. Will the answer to what motivated me to be a coach be a deciding factor to what my niche is?
Possible. When we take these calls, probably we are identifying with a segment that requires help and whether I can be that instrument. After all, we are all instrument in change. So possible.
Possible. Sripad, I'm going to ask your question, but if I'm not able to convey the correct intent, please feel free to chip in. Challenge in coaching in my own domain. So where I think this stems from that section where you said that I can be an expert and I can be a coach. I think that's where this stems from. Challenge in coaching in own domain would be how to control the urge to move to mentoring rather than coaching. Example, I have 30 years of experience in IT. And if someone from IT comes to me for coaching, will I not be tempted to mentor?
The best approach is to try it.
There you go, Sripad. Try it. Yeah. Yes, Naz.
Okay. Yeah, I know that it comes from a deeper side, so I didn't want to, just leave it at that. It is about our own conviction that what we are doing. We are playing many roles in life. Many roles we are playing in life and in society and with our people and with our friends. Why are we insecure only with coach's role is my assumption. I mean, the thing that really, surprising me is this. Why are we so suspicious about our coach role? We are playing very well the roles that is given to us, whether in the at work or in life or with friends and so many other places. People are trusting us with many roles, for profit, not for profit, so many roles we are handling, probably efficiently as well. And coaching is something that we are trained for. I don't know how many roles we have invested so much of our life than coaching. And why are we suspecting our role as a coach? Why we think that we will slip on the slippery slope? Why we think that we will mentor? Why we think that we will advise? So is our coaching conviction that shallow? Then we need to work on that. Not on being a dumb one, that I don't know anything. I know only coaching. Therefore, somebody has to pay me and come. I won't go to such person. I have coaches. I have had coaches, many coaches in my life. Since I became a coach, I am saying, unfortunately, not in my working time, which ended in 2003. Unfortunately, I never had an access to a coach. Having understood the benefits of coaching, from 2013, I have had coaches. But I have never gone to a coach who just do coaching to uphold the sanctity of coaching. We can uphold the sanctity of coaching in whichever way we want, in whichever segment that we want. I mean, if we in a segment that we know very well, like back of our hand, why we suspect our ability to be a coach? That holds the answer. We need to examine that. Why we suspect our own ability to be a coach?
Lot deeper,
in a known area,
looking inward.
In a known area, absolutely. It is inner work.
Yeah. Thank you. Naz, you want to ask your question?
No, first of all, I wanted to endorse whatever PK is saying, because for many years, I come from an advertising background. So right? From Pepsi to some of the big brands I was involved in, and you were talking about positioning. With your permission, if I can give them an example, because you so aptly said it that you cannot be everything to everybody. I wish I had heard my clients say that in my career. So when you said positioning, and you know that Al Ries and Jack Trout discovered it in the late 1960s, and so if I may give an example, is that all right to give an example, PK, with your permission?
Yeah, if it can be a quick one. I don't know how many questions are there.
We just have a couple of more in the text chat. I think we
Okay,
can.
so let Shanti take a call.
Yeah. Go ahead, Naz.
Okay, so I was with Mudra when we were working on a brand called Move, MOOW. You know, it's a pain reliever, right? So we were fighting against SmithKline and Beecham's Iodex, and we were fighting with Amritanjan Balm and Zandu Balm. SmithKline and Beecham's Iodex was 53% market share, which of course I later joined HTA, which was doing that. You know very well, those days it was called ooh, ah, ouch. They were appealing to that segment. Amritanjan Balm was a headache balm. And all of them use a very simple thing called wintergreen oil, which is methyl salicylate. It makes it methyl. So when we were supposed to launch, this was a typical Ahmedabad businessman who wanted to launch it sitting out of a garage. They were all inspired by Karsanbhai Patel, who was the great Nirma man. We wanted to find a positioning for it. So when we find it, as Mudra, we told him only one simple thing. It's even easier than any writer can even think of. We said, I think your entry should be joint pain reliever. They asked us the same questions. Won't it be very niche? Won't it be that you lose all the other customers? And you know what we told him, which was a big strategy. Once it gets into the medical cabinet of a house, it starts getting used for all things. But how you enter, that means positioning in the mind is what they call, mind share. They said, India's largest joint pain reliever. We had the option of saying that. Although it was very small, nobody even knew. We entered, within about 10 years, he sold it for 3,000 crores. And people, I'm just giving you an example, endorsing very, very highly what you're saying about how the niche works so well. And we've seen it. I've seen it with Pepsi. People think Pepsi is for people from 6 years old to 80 years old. That's what they think. But internally, we know who we target and how we segment it. We called it was targeted to a persona who's now 14 years old. It was a 16-year-old boy. We were so clear. And it was called Youth Soulmate. And everything else, the advertising followed from that. So positioning is, like you said, it's not at all a risk. In fact, it's complete blue ocean if you do that. I just wanted to share that example if it's easier to understand. Thank you.
Thank you, Naz. Very helpful. John has a very powerful comment, Differentiate or Die by A.I. Rees and Jack Trout. Brilliant book on how you can be tiny yet widely successful. And he's quoting Rameshwaram. I would agree. We have a Rameshwaram in Whitefield too. And even at 12 midnight, it is crowded. And I have not been able to sit in either. I've only been able to order that crowded. So yeah, getting that narrow is really amazing. Okay, we have one more question in the chat, but I'm, Narayanan, please take a call, whether is that for the next session or this one. It says, could you please define a few key first steps in setting up the coaching of business? For example, name, brand, website, etc. What are the first few? And I know our next session is going to be on setting up the business. Do we want to hold off until then, or is there something related to today's topic that you can cover today? And the reason Ajit Bedekar's question, the reason I ask is that there are many who are freelance coaches. If they have to start now, the business of coaching, what are the first few steps? So that's his specific ask.
I think it is precisely the subject matter of the second session.
Sure.
I would probably, it will be a better use of us today to defer it. Yeah,
Sure.
we will definitely answer, and we will keep this in mind while
Sure, no
next
problem.
session.
Thank you, PK.
Absolutely. What other questions do we have for PK with regards to today's topic?
Okay, while people are thinking about the questions that are really bothering you, so the more closer we can get, like Selva asked, that kind of questions probably will help us, as a group to look at it. So there is no answer, there is no right answer. It is only that the best foot we can put forward. In all of this, it is just appropriate. So Shelva asked, what if it doesn't work in 6 to 8 months? Yeah, we need to take that risk because it's a business. And if it works, well and good. If it doesn't work, we need to do something differently. And that is what getting to an appropriate business means. There is no right or wrong answers, and we wouldn't be regretting that we didn't do something. Yeah. Now a couple of points that probably can help. Am I audible, Shanti?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so a couple of points that I would like our participants to address is that what attracts prospects from this world. There are, we said that there are so many, the pie size of any segment, whichever way you narrow down, still it will be in thousands, right? So in this world, there is too much to address. And any segment that you take, however narrow that you take, they will still have thousands and lakhs of people, the population of the pie, I am saying. That being the case, we need to also know what will attract prospects towards me, a particular coach. Here, some of the thoughts are that, as I earlier indicated, they come for what we are, who we are, not for the coaching that we do, right? Coaching everyone does probably. They don't come for that. They come for what we are and who we are. And they come for our expertise, our experience, our familiarity with the terrain, because they value all of that. That is what as a magnet, we need to do. We need to showcase our expertise, our experience, our familiarity with the terrain, right? When it is closer to your heart and when you are empathetical with that segment, then it will show, absolutely, it will show up genuinely, authentic, with authenticity, right? So then you do coaching. What you do after attracting them is coaching, so that they get the right solutions for their problems. Yeah, they come based on what they see, what they hear, what they perceive. And that is the upper side of the iceberg. This is all I am trying to say. What they see, what they hear, what they perceive is what attracts them to us, whichever segment. It could be the segments that we talked earlier, or it could be, civil practicing lawyers of Bangalore High Court. It could be as narrow as that, or the doctors who are orthopedics in Bangalore. So, or any such. I'm giving you extreme examples, but everyone needs coaching. Probably everyone is looking for solutions. So they come based on what you are, and what they see, hear, and perceive of us. Our coaching gets them results at the end, but at the funnel mouth, at the funnel mouth, that's what attracts them to us.
Thank you. Yukti, you want to ask a question on targets? Please go ahead.
Yes. Hi, PK. Thank you for the good session. PK, the niche that I'm thinking of is always the students who are 8 to 10th standard or the 12th standard, who don't know what to choose either in their after their 10th standard or after the 12th standard. But you know what? Over a period of time, I started feeling that money is something paid to me by parents, and I cannot go. In India, generally, students have to do what parents say. Not every parent is open to the ideas of what children's career. So I'm between this, but that's a very good area. And I've actually tried this on a lot of family members, students, and I've made their life reflective and they've chosen the right path. But to take it up as a business, I'm little skeptical. Because as I said, the payment comes from parents and you cannot go against the parents' wish of what the child has to be. What are your thoughts on this?
What makes you attracted to this 8th, 9th, 10th standard?
They don't have clarity on what they have to do.
Yeah, what makes you what makes you attracted to this segment? What in you?
I feel it's very potential because you can make their lives better.
Okay.
because
else?
the trend, what I've seen, because I'm in hiring in my company, I'm a part of the
Mhm.
freshers hiring. Most of them, I feel it's because IT jobs are paid well. They all want to become the engineer, and they're engineers and they're out there. After 10, 15 years of their career, they don't know what they have to do next. So I feel the segment, this segment is very important to build their career, though it's a very young age. That makes me attractive.
So coaching is needed for children or parents?
Parents, yes.
No, I just asked a question, that's all. You might have to look through. You might have to
Okay.
probably explore this a bit more. What you
Okay.
said is absolutely a societal or a social issue for the coming generations. So you might, since if if the cause is close to your heart, and if you are charged when you think about it, yeah, you get energy from even thinking about it. Do a bit more exploration as to who is your client, who is your prospect. Is your prospect the child or the parent?
Or the parent.
And whether willingness to pay, and all those things can follow later. But do some explorations on that, and how you can position yourself in a manner in which they look up to you. So what in you, or how you can position yourself that the prospect that you identify gets attracted towards you, how is it appealing to them? So those things all you can work out, you can think through what makes you an attractive coach for them. And if you answer these questions, you have a business coming through your way.
Okay, sure. Thank you so much.
I'm making a mental note too. Shikha, you want to ask your question?
Yes, I think my question is an extension of the last question that PK had just answered. My question is that I would like to identify parenting coach as a niche for myself. To become
We lost you. Couldn't hear you.
Hello.
Yeah,
Am I
now
back?
you're audible. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So my question is that if, let's say, I identify being a parent coach as a niche for myself, because I feel that, we all become parents, but hardly there is any, coaching on the way available to parents to be able to become the best and the right parents for their children. But my question is that how do I, and none of us seek coaching as a parent because we feel that we can learn from our, older generations or through our peers and all. There is very less willingness to pay to a professional coach for this kind of a service. And I mean, as a coach, I also feel a little hesitant to ask, for any money for this kind of a coaching. So my question really is that how do I convince my own self as well as my target in the founding stages, let's say year 0 to year 10, because that I feel is the founding, phase for any child. Although I feel that, once a parent is always a parent, so you can't really, give up on being a parent, even if your child has got married. Even then, your parenting service still continues. But I would especially want to target the parents of children who are in their founding stages, 0 to 10, 12, maybe 15 years.
0 to 15 years.
Yeah.
So parents remain parents, no questions about it, but their solutions that they are seeking, their terrain, their landscape, does it remain the same, Shikha?
No, that's what I'm saying, that, we are in the different phases, growth phases of our life. And that's where, a parent remains a parent and their, role as parenting never ends. So which is why, I feel that at every stage of their parenting journey, they will be challenged by, different kinds of challenges, and they will definitely seek different solutions as well.
Absolutely.
But,
therefore the positioning. So if you 0 to 15 years, still I would say is a very long, very, very large population. Because even in Bangalore, if you take, conservatively 30 lakh parents or 25 lakh parents, that is too large a population that anyone can get any message across. So you are 0 to 15 also, you need to see what is the
Sure.
real thing. Like an earlier participant asked about, really the 8, 9, 10 students. So that is 13, 14, 15 or 15, 14, 15, 16 years. That itself is a huge, huge population. Their
Sure.
solutions itself is seemingly so large. So 0 to 15 is you are going to end up with a very, very large funnel mouth. So
Right.
it might be difficult to probably handle. And what are the more than that, what I would like you to explore is what is closer to you? What is that you think that others will feel attracted to? What is that your expertise, your experience, your connection, your passion or your connection, connection emotionally, I'm saying. So what will that show up like? For whom it would look most attractive? I think that might be the first ones to go with. And then you can do probably as you find your, positioning helping you, serving you, you can either expand or contract. The point I'm making is that, you take a population that you can address. If the population is too big, your messaging and your communication and your funnel mouth can be unwieldy, and that doesn't help running a business.
Sure. So, Vicky, my question is not really exactly about positioning only. I get your point that, of course, I need to narrow down my funnel, my target audience. And as I said, I would basically, first of all, want to target on the founding, stages parents. But my question is that I am also hesitant to ask for any money from any parents for, my services, and I don't see a willingness amongst the parents also to pay for coaching as a service, because they feel that they don't need to be coached or mentored or trained by anybody else outside on parenting. People think that we learn parenting on the way. Although I personally feel that the way of parenting has changed quite a bit nowadays, and also parents do need that kind of support in raising up their children.
Sure,
But
that is our sorry to
no. So
interrupt there.
it's the willingness of pay and willingness of asking to be paid as well. That hesitation and that question, how do I address?
We will answer one question today, one question on 4th session, that is 31st of the month. How to ask for money and how much to ask for, that probably we are covering in the last session. So today to answer is that no, if the willingness is not there in the segment that you have identified for the probable solutions that they are seeking, and they are not willing to pay for the solution that they are getting through coaching, that is not a positioning at all. That is not a viable business at all. Willingness to pay is the final test amongst the sequence that I mentioned earlier. So if there is no willingness to pay in the segment, even if we think they need help, that is not a business. We can do coaching still, but that will not be a good business to do.
Okay. And is there a way to educate parents that they need the service?
Possible.
And it is going to be helpful for them.
Possible. That is what,
because a lot of times, people do not even realize that there is a growth area and they need, help.
Agree. Totally agree. So you may focus on that as well. And probably we might have, those discussions on the last day, how to create perceived value.
Yeah.
How to create perceived value. They are not willing to pay, not because they don't have money, because they are not perceiving value.
Yeah.
So how to create the perception of the value, that probably we are going to discuss on the last session.
Okay, sure.
PK, we at least have 6 more questions in the chat, and
How
it
much
is already
time do we
7.
have?
Yeah, we have crossed the time. Now 7th also has come in. How do you want to address it? Should I send you the questions? Would you be willing to document them so that we can send it out along with the recording, your responses? Would that be okay? And if you feel we are going to cover any of the questions in the upcoming sessions in the series, you can just mark it, say, this will be answered in this particular session. And I'll take note of your responses and ensure that we start with those open questions for upcoming sessions, and then we move forward. Yeah.
Sure, will do.
With that, thank you. It was so informative, so helpful, and I've loved the chat and thoroughly enjoyed the session. Thank you so much. You can already see all the claps and great session comments. So
Thank you.
look forward to the
Shanti.
upcoming sessions too.
I too enjoyed our conversation and participation by our fellow coaches. So if our coaches get some inputs, insights from this, and they can build a business, I think that would be the most constructive use of all our time over the next 3 sessions as well. So I wish and I encourage that happens.
Lovely wish. Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Shanti.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.